Three words are dominating Europe at the moment. Greece, of course, austerity and growth. Now, whilst we're all watching very closely the events in Greece, the debate across continental Europe is raging over austerity and ditching that in favour of boosting spending and, of course, trying to boost growth. Well, here in the UK, the coalition government says it's standing firm and is going to reduce the deficit. Well, joining me now to discuss that and whether that policy is right is Matthew Hancock, Conservative MP. Now, Matthew, has the government got it right?
Yes, undoubtedly. The central insight that we need to understand to get the economic policy right for dealing with this great economic crisis is that this at heart is a debt crisis. And so the balance between tight fiscal policy to deal with those debts and loose monetary policy to support growth, I think, is the right one. And this and austerity and growth aren't alternatives. They're both absolutely necessary.
Indeed, the Prime Minister, David Cameron, has said it is not a question of one versus the other. But surely, given that so much of Europe is now talking about refocus on growth, the new French President, François Hollande, definitely concentrating on that. You've had the IMF coming in, suggesting that George Osborne, the Chancellor, should have a plan B. Should we not be looking at further policies to help boost growth along, given that we are in a double-dip recession?
Yes, we absolutely need further policies to support growth. But you mentioned François Hollande. He's an interesting case in point because he said we need more growth, but he said it cannot be from more government spending because we need to rein that in.
Now, you've been an economic advisor to the Chancellor George Osborne. You've sat around the table with him, sure, poring over lots of policy ideas. What would be your advice to him now? Stick with it or actually think about what Christine Lagarde has said as the head of the IMF?
Well, of course, take the advice of Christine Lagarde when she says that we need to stick with the plan to deal with our debts. It is necessary and essential.
But on the other side, you've had a lot of criticism, not just from opposition politicians, but other analysts, various other plethora of views saying that the government could do more. Indeed, business leaders, the likes of Richard Branson of Virgin, and even Martin Sorrell of the advertising giant WPP, have said that the government should be doing more to help small businesses, because indeed they really are the linchpin of actually getting the economy and growth going.
Absolutely. I mean, both Martin Sorrell and Richard Branson say that it's vital to deal with the deficit.
Are you doing that?
And also act to get growth going and allowing monetary policy to operate, getting credit to small businesses, I think, is vital, and we need to push harder on that. We've got the credit easing policy of trying to get credit through whilst the banks are impaired, and we need to make sure that that goes further. All of these things are necessary.
Moving on to more perhaps positive things, we've got the Olympics coming up. Will they have a boost for the UK economy, do you really think?
Well, I hope that they certainly have a boost for the tourism sector and for exports. And there is, as you say, a positive vision that comes through the gloom, but it's hard to reach it. You know, we're a quarter of the way through the deficit reduction. The deficit's down by a quarter. That means there's still 3 quarters to go.
And the problem is that real people, you've got police officers out there that have been out on the streets, you've got teachers, all the public sector workers, they're the ones that are really feeling it. And a lot of the cuts haven't come through yet. Once the child benefit is being reduced, a lot of people are going to feel it even worse. And there is a sense that perhaps the coalition government, particularly the Tories, are slightly out of touch, and even, you know, given that you have done this U-turn on the pasty tax because you didn't quite realise that people actually liked hot pasties, didn't want to pay more tax on them.
Well, yeah, for the pasties, that certainly blew up into a newspaper issue. But you know, you mentioned child benefit. Child benefit is only being removed from the top 10% of earners. So that measure ensures that, you know, everybody plays a part in this deficit reduction. My argument is that through taking the difficult steps necessary to rebalance our economy and to focus our exports and our energies, not just in Europe but across the whole world, there is a positive vision that you can just glimpse through all the gloom.
Well, I will leave it on that positive glimpsing vision there. Matthew Hancock, thank you very much for joining us on INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you.